So tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and you know what that means. We're all going to be making turkeys, right? So what I wanted to do today was a video showing you what I do and how I'm going to make my turkey this year. So I've started with about a 12-pound turkey here. It's been thawing since Sunday, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that out of the bag and remove any of those things we don't want to eat that are in that bag. The first thing I also do, these right here. See that little plastic piece? These are set, there's a glue in there, and that's set to go off at 180 degrees. I promise you, if you take your bird to 180 degrees, it's as dry as the Sahara Desert. This is not a done indicator, this is a past done indicator. First thing you want to do, rip that thing out and throw it in the garbage. All right. I should probably address this. It should go without saying, this is my kitchen, my rules. I'm taking that bird to 160 degrees. That's where I want it. That's where I feel it's more moist. FDA, all that stuff, they may say take it to 180. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm not a medical professional, okay? I'm taking that bird to 160 degrees. That's where I feel it is the most safe. That's where I feel it's going to taste the best. But you do you. All right, so I spared you the visuals of removing everything from inside the bird. But we are going to go ahead and trim this together. And I'm just going to make just a couple little things that I'm going to go ahead and do today. The rest of it I'll do tomorrow. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the bird butt. We're going to get rid of that thing. And then I'm just going to look in any major globs of fat like that. I'm just going to get rid of those. Those are not very good. At least they're not good to me. I don't like them. So I go ahead and I get those on out of there. There's always a little too much extra skin back here. So I just want to take some of that away as well on the front of the bird. We will have a better presentation tomorrow when this thing comes off the grill. And that's what I'm going to do with that for now as far as trimming. The rest of that work will come tomorrow when we spatchcock this bird. Today, I'm going to be using Malcolm Reed's bird brine. And the ratio of this is 1 cup per gallon. So I've already got 1 cup measured out. And if you'll look in there, you can actually see this has got beautiful peppercorns, salt, it's got rosemary, all kinds of wonderful herbs. Everything's already in there, big form. This is going to be great. And I've taken a quart jar because this is how I'm going to measure everything out. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. So I'm just going to start with this first quart. I put a little bit of water in there already to help mix. And I'm going to add this cup of bird brine, this first cup, right on into there. And I just did it halfway so that I can give it a little bit of a shake around, stirring it up before I add the rest of the water. I'm going to add cold water. I have a rather large bird meat bag here. I'm just going to take that, open it up, and pour in that liquid for that brine. It's the first jar. Remember, I'm going to have 4 of these. And I might add more, but we're going to start with 4. So I have 1 gallon of water in the brine bag. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the turkey, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it right down in that bag. I'm going to make sure plenty of that gets up in the cavity. And then we're just going to check the level and see if it looks like that's all we're going to need. You know, that's good, because what I'll do is every few hours I'll come through and just make sure, I'll turn that turkey over on its back. And I'll make sure, I think that's going to be plenty, and that saves me some brine for chickens and other turkeys in the future. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to seal this up. We're going to put it in the fridge. It's going to go a minimum of 12 hours all the way up to 36 hours. Mine's going to go probably around 16 hours, and then I'm going to pull it out, pat it dry, spatchcock it, pat it dry, prepare it, set in the fridge, and let everything get nice and dried out before we go to the smoker with it tomorrow. But you'll see that part next. All right, so the turkey has been in the fridge, in the brine. We did about 14, 15 hours. Again, ideally, it would be great if that went 24 to 36 hours. But 12 is your absolute minimum that you really want to brine your turkey for. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this turkey out of the bag. And then we're going to pat it dry. And I'm going to spatchcock it. And I'm going to be honest with you, it smells right now. That brine is wonderful because this turkey smells like an already cooked, delicious turkey right out of this brine bag, which is great. So I'm just going to shake this off, try to get as much of that excess off of this bird as possible before I transfer it over here to the cutting board. Now we're going to transfer that over to the board. And we're going to start the process of spatchcocking this turkey. So you're going to get a really good knife, make it sharp, and we're going to go on each side of this spine here, as you can see it. So about where my fingers are, and we're just going to cut all the way down. So we're just going to start right here first. Like I said, a good sharp knife is imperative, and if you run into a problem, you can always just hack at it like that. If you got a good cleaver type sharp knife, that will certainly help when you get to those hard parts. But it shouldn't be too big a deal to do this. And we're just going to come to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing all the way down. Alright, now we finished that cut. We got that backbone out here. We're going to remove that. Now you can hang on to that backbone. You can use that for a variety of different things, soup, stews, broths, or you can throw it away. That's really up to you and what you want to do with that. This is useful if you don't want to waste that part of the turkey. I'm just going to set it back into the brine bag for now. And then what I'm going to do is take this turkey, I'm going to flip it all the way back over, as if that were still there. Spread it out just a little bit, and then once I get it spread out, I'm just going to push down to hear that pop and break that breastbone so that turkey lays flat. Okay? Once that's done, I'm going to take a towel, paper towel, whatever, and I'm going to get as much moisture off of this turkey as I possibly can, because we want this to dry up. When we cook it, we're going to want a good crispy skin. So I'm just getting that off of that skin. And I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. Make sure my board's good and dry. Again, we're doing our best to try to make sure we don't get any brine or juice anywhere else in the kitchen. We don't want to cross-contaminate, but we are going to pull all this stuff off and wash this area really, really good just as soon as this bird is ready to go off this table, or just as soon as it has gone off this table. So we're done with our knife, so we're going to move that out of the way. I always like to go back. Every now and then you'll see something that, you know, something like this, and I'll pull these or cut these off when you see those little feathers that are still left behind. Everything can't be perfect all the time. So this is a compound butter. I've got 2 sticks of butter. We left those out. We're going to go ahead. Those are soft. We're going to add just a little bit of Malcolm Reed's AP seasoning. That's going to be kind of a salt, pepper, garlic profile. And then we're going to come in with the real winner for poultry, which is going to be some of that OG Danos, the green top. And we're going to add quite a bit of that into that. And then after we get that in there, we're just going to go ahead and use our hand mixers. and we're just going to mix that into that butter so that that is incorporated throughout both sticks of that butter really well. Because we're going to take that and put it underneath the skin of this turkey just for some extra flavor and seasoning. And I got messy hands, so I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'm going to have to swap out gloves. But I'm going to actually add some more OG Danos because there's just not enough in what I added there. Alright, so then the next thing you're going to do is pull out Old Trusty, which is going to be your biggest sheet pan that looks like it's never been washed, that's hanging out in the bottom of your cabinet, but is totally clean. Don't lie, you got one. Everybody does. And then you're going to take one of these racks and just lay it in it, just to keep the turkey off the bottom of that. And you're going to go ahead and transfer the turkey from your cutting board over to that guy, because it's going to rest on that at least until it's time to go into the smoker. But that's still a couple hours away, so we want it to have time to just kind of continue to dry out on that skin in the fridge. And once you've got that transferred over, it's time to go ahead and add that butter. So the way we're going to do that simply is to go ahead and grab a hold of the skin. And we're just going to lift that skin a little bit. And when we peel that back, you can take your finger and you literally can separate that skin from the breast. And you're going to use the opportunity just to get your hand in there, separate that out, so that you can run your hand all the way down to the bottom of that breast. Oops. That one's hanging on tight. There we go. Once you can get your hands all the way to the bottom of that breast, you're just going to grab some butter, go right down in there, and spread that butter all underneath that skin, in between the skin and the meat. You're just going to keep doing that. Pack that as tight as you want. You know, there's no limit to how much you can put in there. You put as much as you want in there. It's just going to go right into the meat. It's going to be really good. That Danos flavoring and that AP seasoning is going to add a lot of flavor to what otherwise is really a bland meat. And we did brine it, so that added a lot of flavor as well. So I expect this turkey is going to taste wonderful when we're all done. And like I said, we're just going to pack this with that butter everywhere we can up in here. You could do the same down around the legs. You can lift up that thigh meat down here and get your fingers up in there. Pack a little bit of butter in there if you like as well. Now the turkey's been patted dry. The turkey's had butter stuffed underneath the skin. We went full butterball on that thing. And we're just going to take it, we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we're going to let it sit for as long as we possibly can. 24 hours would be fantastic. I don't have 24 hours, unfortunately. I've only got probably about 3 hours before I need to get this on the smoker. So it's just going to sit in the fridge, chill out. That skin's going to continue to dry out so that we can get a crispier skin once we put it on the smoker. All right, we've got that done. The next step, there really isn't anything other than to hurry up and wait for the next 2 or 3 hours. So pull out a beer, pop that top, turn on a football game, whatever you do, and just hang out for a couple hours, and then we'll go to the smoker. So now we're just going to take our temperature probe, and we're going to go ahead and insert that into the bird. I'm going to do this in the thickest part of the breast, all the way in. And this is going to be ready to go on out to the pellet grill. So we're going to go ahead and turn the Weber Searwood on. And we're going to set that. So it comes on here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to set that to about 400 degrees. Maybe 425. All right, our grill's come up to temp, so we're going to go ahead and place this bird right in our pellet grill. Temperature probe in, so we're going to be able to get a good reading on that bird. shut that up. And we're just going to let that go. We're going to check on it, but we're going to go until it's probe temperature. We're going to take it to 160 degrees, and then we'll pull and let it rest. But I suspect that'll take around 2 hours, but let's see. All right, this is what the bird looks like when it's done. The temperature probe is reading great. We're just a hair over 160, and we're going to go ahead and pull this and let it rest for the next 45 minutes or so, and then we'll carve it, eat it. All right, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to cut this. I'm going to cut straight down across here. Look at that beautiful bird. Look at all that moisture that's still left in that bird. And then we're going to come back here. We're going to cut straight down and straight across here. Straight here to that joint. And we should be able to just take this. Whoops. It just wants to fall apart right there. Right there at that joint. I'm not pulling hard because it's wanting to fall apart, and I'd rather just get a clean break. So right there. And we will take that over to our platter. Our thigh. We're just going to take, we'll wind up cutting all that off, slicing that up, placing it over here as well, and we'll go on to the breast. When we cut that breast off, just look at all that beautiful juice that's in there. Beautiful white meat. We're just placing that. We're just going ahead and cutting this for our guests so it'll be nice and servable. Well, I have to tell you guys, that turkey was absolutely fantastic. Everyone who ate that really enjoyed it. Now, I do apologize. We started filming that the day before and the day of Thanksgiving, and I would have loved to have had this video out to you much sooner than today. However, I did run into some editing issues. We're getting better every day with that kind of thing, so and I really appreciate your patience as we grow. And that is thanks to you guys that we are growing. So pass this video around, please. Also, a few more opportunities before the end of this year and in the beginning of next year to still make that holiday turkey for your parties, etc. So if you make that turkey, please leave a message in the comments. Let me know what everyone thought. Y'all have a good one.